ratio of the change in y coordinates to the change in x coordinates. And so we call the change in y our rise. We call the change in x our run. The slope describes the rate of change, which is exactly what we looked at yesterday. Remember, yesterday was change in y over change in x. So pretty much rate of change and slope are synonymous. Okay, that means they're the same. So when you hear find the rate of change, that really means find the slope. When you hear find the slope, that means find the rate of change. And it describes the steepness of a line. Okay? The higher the slope, the steeper the line's going to be. And we'll learn about that. Okay, and so the slope of a line through any 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, can be found by this formula. And you best get this formula down right here. Okay, get that formula down. This is something that will follow you through all the way to like when you're seniors, finding slope between any 2 points. It's something that's on the NISA, the state assessment. And these are actually fairly easy problems. And so essentially what this means is this means you're going to take the 2 y coordinates and you're going to subtract them. And so does it matter which point is which? No. Notice I have the purple one here and I have the pink one here. So they correlate to your x1, y1, your x2, y2. So what the formula says that you do, you take your y2, which in this case is 8, okay? And I subtract y1, which is 4. Okay? And then I divide that by x2, which is 7, minus x1, which is 3. So let's calculate that real quick. What's 8 minus 4? 4. What's 7 minus 3? So what's 4 divided by 4? 1. So the slope that connects those 2 points is 1. Now yesterday, if you remember, what did we do? We made a little chart like this, remember? And we did x and y, and we did like 3, 4, and we did 7, 8. And remember how we did that? We took 8 minus 4 over 7 minus 3. So it's the exact same thing that we did yesterday. Exact same thing. And in fact, if you want to write it as a table, you can, if that makes sense to you. So let's go ahead and look at this problem. It says find the slope of the line that passes through -2, 0, and 1, 5. So the slope equals, okay, here's y2, right? Minus y1, which in this case is 0, divided by 1 minus -2. So let's figure that out. What is 5 minus 0? 5. What is 1 minus -2? 3. So my slope is 5/3. Yes, you can get fractional slopes. That's fine. The biggest thing is you just need to make sure that you reduce those down. Questions? Pretty straightforward. Let's look at another one then. Okay. So if you're doing these in notes, I would just put the points. I would just put -3, -1, and 2, -1, instead of having to write out all those words. Okay, because essentially you're finding the slope on all of these problems anyway. So to find the slope, what am I going to take? -1 minus -1. That's my y's. Okay, divided by 2 minus -3. So let's calculate that. -1 minus -1. What does that give me? 0 divided by what? 5. What is 0 divided by any number? 0. There you go. Okay, pretty straightforward. Your turn. Find the slope that passes through 3, 6, and 4, 8. 3, 6, and 4, 8. Okay, so let's see what you got. 2, nice job. Okay, those that have -2, you reversed your numbers. So in this case, I'm going to take 8 minus 6 divided by 4 minus 3. Okay, 8 minus 6 divided by 4 minus 3. Nice job. Let's do another one. Find the slope of the line that passes through -4, 2 and -2, 10. -4, 2 and -2, 10. Nice job. So let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, so in this one, and anytime we put the negatives in, we always have some mistakes made. So I'm going to take 10 minus 2. Okay, divided by, in this case, I'm going to take -2 minus -4. So let's go ahead and calculate that. 10 minus 2, we all should have got, is 8. Okay, now, -2 minus -4, your two negatives make a positive, so it's really like -2 plus 4, which is positive 2. 8 divided by 4, or 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, -2, 3, and -2, -4. -2, 3, and -2, -4. Let me put my in. What were you going to put? Use the space. Okay, now. Wow. So what'd you get on the top?
Negative 4 minus 3.
Negative 4 minus 3, right? What'd you get on the bottom?
Negative 2 minus
Negative 2 minus negative 2. So let's calculate this. What was negative 4 minus 3? Negative 7. Okay, so far so good. What about on the bottom? What'd you get?
0.
0. Now, type that in on your calculators and see what you get. Because according to what I had on the board, it said, what'd you get? Error. Now, you can never divide by 0. That's like one of those things that just doesn't work. And so whenever you get something like this, your answer is going to be undefined. Division by 0 is undefined. So if you ever get something like this, first of all, don't erase it and think you've done something wrong. Okay, leave it there, and then your answer, as I said, is undefined. Okay, so if you would have like 1,000,000 divided by 0, your answer is still undefined. And that only occurs when 0 is in the denominator. If 0 is in the top, your answer is 0. But if it's in the denominator, your answer is undefined. All right, so real quick, we're just going to talk a little bit about slope. And this is taken from your book. And so let's first of all talk about positive slope. A positive slope means that the line's going to go up. Okay, positive means it increases. A negative slope means it's going to go down. Okay, a slope of 0 means you're going to have a horizontal line, and an undefined slope means you're going to have a vertical line. And so the last one we just had was an undefined slope, so that meant we had a vertical line. So real quick, what does a positive slope do? Goes up, right? It increases. Kind of like if you look at a graph. Something that increases is positive. Okay? What does a negative slope do? Goes down. Okay? What's a 0 slope look like? Horizontal line. And an undefined slope looks like a vertical line. Now it's going to be one of those things. We're going to try and get those down. We have a few things to talk about, and these are probably the toughest problems. So if I were you, I would make sure that you get these down. It says find the value of r so that the line through 1, 4 and negative 5r has a slope of 1/3. Okay? Find the value of r so that the line through 1, 4 and negative 5r has a slope of 1/3. Now you're going to have we'll have another one of these to look at too. Okay, so I'm going to write the slope formula using these 2 points. Okay? So what would the slope formula using those 2 points be? R minus 4 on the top, right? Because I've got r here, minus 4. Divided by what? Negative 5 minus 1. Good. So far we've written that really well. And I know that that has to equal what value? 1/3. Okay, so I'm always going to set it equal to that. So what does this look like? We just solved these last chapter. Looks like a proportion, doesn't it? So we'll be able to cross multiply. So I have r minus 4 divided by, what is negative 5 minus 1? Negative 6. Okay, 1/3. So I need to go ahead and, there are 2 ways to solve this. One, I can cross multiply. I could do that. Or, another thing I could do is I could just multiply by a negative 6. What happens to your negative 6's on the left? They cancel, and what does it leave me with? R minus 4, very good, equals. Now I've got 1/3 times negative 6. So if I put that as a fraction over 1, I get close, real close. Negative 2. Okay, just forgot that negative sign. You were right on track. Good job. So then now how do I solve for r? Add 4. Very good. And so I get r to equal 2. Okay, now that was kind of weird, so we're going to obviously look at another one just to make sure that we've got that down. Same exact steps. So if I were taking notes, okay, I wouldn't necessarily write out all the words again. I would just go ahead and write down r negative 6, 5 negative 8, slope of negative 8. Okay, because it's one of those things, if it's in that same section of your notes, you know it's going to follow the same instructions. So the first thing we need to do is write the equation for slope. So what do I do?
-6.
Perfect, nice job. Negative 8 minus negative 6 divided by 5 minus r, good, equals negative 8. Nice job. So now we need to simplify if we can.
You can add 6.
Yep. And what do I get? So I get negative 2 from that top one over 5 minus r equals negative 8. Now in that previous problem, we multiplied by like a negative 6 in the denominator. Can I do that here? It's not as nice. So let's do this. Let's make it a proportion. And then let's cross multiply. So what do I get when I multiply those two? Negative 2. On the right side, this is what I get. I get negative 8 times 5 minus r. So what do you need to do with the negative 8? Yep. Yep. Good job. Yep. Distribute. So what's negative 8 times 5? Negative 40. Negative 8 times negative r. 8r. Good. What do you do now? Add 40. Okay. Add 40 to negative 2. So I end up getting 38 to equal 8r. What do you do now? Divide by 8. Now, does this come out even? Nope. So now we just need to reduce. Okay, what will go into both 38 and 8? 2 goes into 38. 19 times. 2 goes into 8. 4 times. So there's your value of r. So you can get fractions, and don't think that you've got them wrong just because you've got fractions. So this will be on your quiz tomorrow. Okay, so it's important that you work. Your assignment, I want you to just add this to the one you were given yesterday. So don't worry about starting a new sheet of paper. Okay, just add this to the end, 24 through 39. Okay. So there's no need to start a whole new sheet of paper. Just go ahead and add it on to the end of yesterday's assignment.